One of the issues that was raised in the previous panel regarding the Elu Devarim paragraph was whether or not the double-barreled reward of both Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba carries over to the remaining mitzvot, such as Tkiyat Shofar, Lulav, Hadlakat Neirot, and so on and so forth. The issue hinges around how we interpret the two words Elu HaDevarim, translated as these are, whether or not the Elu is to be understood as these but not others, or Elu, these mitzvot mentioned in the Mishnah and the Gemara are mere examples representing the broad range of Tariag mitzvot. For this, we are going to digress for a moment and look at the mitzvah of Shiluach HaKan, or as others would have it, Shiluach HaKain. This very puzzling mitzvah is recorded just once in Devarim, Perek 22, Parashat Ki Tetzei, where we are told that Ki Yikarei Kan Tzipor, if a bird's nest chances before you, or in other words, you come across a bird's nest, Lefanecha Baderech, before you on the road while you're walking in the streets, presumably, B'chol Eitz, or any tree, or Al Haaretz, or upon the ground, and in this Kan Tzipor, you discover that it contains Efrachim or Beitzim, fledglings, young birds, or eggs, and V'ha'em Rovetzet, Al Ha'efrachim, or Al HaBeitzim, and if the mother is sitting upon, nursing the fledglings, or upon the eggs, we have the mitzvat lo ta'aseh of lo tikach ha'em al habanim. You are not permitted to take the mother away from the banim, the fledglings, the children of this mother bird. Shaleach teshalach et ha'em, shoo away the mother of the fledglings or the eggs, and only then ve'et habanim tikach lach. You will be permitted to take the young fledglings for yourself. Lama'an, in order. In other words, if you do this, yitav lach v'harachta yamim. There is a promise that it will be good for you, and it will lengthen your days. A double-barreled reward. The translation is drawn from the Chabad.org website. As we shall see shortly, Rava treats this double expression as a promise of a reward both in Olam Hazeh and in Olam Haba. Rava in Masechet Kedushin Daf Mem Amud Aleph uses the case of Shiluach HaKan as a challenge to the Mishnah of Elu Dvarim Sha'adam Oseh Otam and Ochel Peroteim both in Olam Hazeh and in Olam Haba. In the previous panels, we looked at and provided textual sources for the three mitzvot of Kibud Av V'Eim, Gemilut Chasadim, and Hava'at Shalom. Rava challenges the Mishnah by raising the fact that there is a fourth mitzvah for which we are promised a reward both in Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba. In the words of the Gemara, B'Shiluach HaKan Nami Kativ. With respect to the mitzvah Shiluach HaKan, as we have mentioned, there is also a pasuk that states, Leman yitav lach v'harachta yamim, the two-pronged reward both in Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba, and hence the question, Litni nami ha. The Mishnah should also have included this case of Shiluach HaKan. The implication, of course, is that the Elu Devarim of the Mishnah is prescriptive. It is limiting these and not others, and if that be the case, the Mishnah is problematic because there is also the fourth case of Shiluach HaKan. At this point in time, based upon Rava's question, the Elu Devarim is limiting, applying only to the mitzvot mentioned in the Mishnah, to the exclusion of the remaining Tariag mitzvot. Mitzvot for which there is no specific reward attached to them would suggest that they are not Ochel Peroteim B'Olam Hazeh. There obviously needs to be some reward to those individuals who are committed to the fulfillment of the mitzvot, and that reward is reserved to be given in Olam Haba. The question was put to Rab Nachman. Presumably the response recorded in the Mishnah came from him. And that response is embedded in the three words Tanna VeShaer Tani. Tanna VeShaer is a technical term used in the Gemara, literally translates he taught and left over, and is an expression used when suggesting that a list given in a Mishnah or a Braita is incomplete. The Tanna, the author of the Mishnah, did not list everything, and accordingly the Elu Devarim of the Mishnah is not prescriptive and limiting, but could include all the other mitzvot in the Torah, that they also have the two-pronged reward, Ochel Perotehem Ba'olam Hazeh, and the Keren Kayemet La'olam Haba. In all fairness, the Gemara does challenge the Tanna VeShaer position, and with the words Tanna Elo Dvarim Va'at Amart Tanna VeShaer, the reality is, if you have the word Elu, these, you cannot argue Tanna VeShaer. And the Gemara goes on to a lengthy discussion trying to align the position of Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi in Masechet Peah Elu Dvarim with the fact that there is a fourth mitzvah, the mitzvah of Shluach Hakan. A discussion to be had elsewhere. Meanwhile, we shall be returning to the Mishnah of Masechet Peah and the Gemara and look at the range of examples that are brought in the Tefillah of Elu Dvarim that come under the subheading of Ve'elohein.